Hello, welcome to another video, and this week I have a devotional thought that I want to share coming out of Ecclesiastes, kind of a fun one. Ecclesiastes is kind of a weird book, honestly, but I think it's actually a really cool book and kind of a cool lesson that we can draw from Ecclesiastes, but it's very different than a lot of books that we see in the Bible. It's a very unique book, but if you have your Bible and you want to turn and read along, I'm going to be in Ecclesiastes chapter 1, and then we'll skip ahead to chapter 3 a little bit too. Going to read a couple different spots, but yeah, if you want to go to Ecclesiastes, and Ecclesiastes was written by Solomon, King Solomon, and he's kind of an old man now, and he's lived his life, and Solomon he's been wealthy and rich. He's obtained all the wisdom he can obtain. He's done everything he could possibly do in life. He's sought after every pleasure. He's denied himself nothing, and this is kind of the conclusion that he's arrived at. He's sharing what he's kind of learned through his life of being a king and obtaining wisdom and pursuing pleasures and all this. He's kind of reflecting on life and just sharing this lesson. So Ecclesiastes chapter 1, being verse 1 through 11 to start, says, "The words of the teacher, son of David, king in Jerusalem. Meaningless, meaningless, says the teacher. Utterly meaningless. Everything is meaningless. What does man gain from all of his labor at which he toils under the sun? Generations come and generations go, but the earth remains forever. The sun rises and the sun sets and hurries back to where it rises. The wind blows to the south and turns to the north. Round and round it goes, ever returning on its course. All streams flow into the sea, yet the sea is never full. To the place the streams come from, there they return again. All things are wearisome, more than one can say. The eye never has enough of seeing, nor the ear its fill of hearing. What has been will be again. What has been done will be done again. There is nothing new under the sun. Is there anything of which one can say, 'Look, this is something new'? It was here already long ago. It was here before our time. There is no remembrance of men of old, and even those who are yet to come will not be remembered by those who follow." So kind of a downer, kind of a depressing passage, honestly. It's kind of I don't know, it seems like a weird thing to be in the Bible. But I think if we look forward now to chapter 3, Solomon goes on, he just continues on with just talking about just pleasure is meaningless, wisdom is meaningless, our toil, our work is meaningless, just talking about all these things that just, at the end of the day, they just don't matter. They're meaningless. But what do we draw from this? Why is this in the Bible? Why are we reading about Solomon just ranting about how meaningless life is? Chapter 3, verses 9 through 11 says, "What does the worker gain from his toil? I have seen the burden God has laid on men. He has made everything beautiful in its time. He has also set eternity in the hearts of men, yet they cannot fathom what God has done from beginning to end." So, when he says he has set eternity in the hearts of men, I think something that Solomon is pointing at here, and I think what that means is that, and the reason why he's explaining and just saying everything is meaningless, he's highlighting all of these things that man seeks to accomplish and all these things that man pursues and can be done in your lifetime, and he says, I've done these things and it all was meaningless, it doesn't matter. And then he says, eternity is in the hearts of men. So I think what he's pointing at is that the only way that we can truly be fulfilled is by knowing our Creator. It is by knowing the things of eternity. That the only meaning our life really has is the things about our life that matter in eternity, that will continue on in eternity. So being in relationship with God, knowing God, knowing our Creator, that is the only thing that matters. The things of this world will fade away. They don't matter. At the end of the day, you could, like Solomon, he was the king of Jerusalem. He had all the riches you could possibly imagine. He had all the wisdom you could possibly obtain. He reached the climax, the pinnacle of the human experience, of human life at the time. And yet, none of it mattered. At the end of the day, he was left feeling like life was meaningless. Nothing is new under the sun. There's nothing he had he didn't feel fulfilled. And he says eternity is in the hearts of men. And so I think he was beginning to realize that the only thing that truly matters are the things of eternity, and that each and every one of us as humans were designed to be fulfilled by relationship with God. That I think it's built into the structure of who we are as humans, into our DNA, that nothing of this world can possibly satisfy us. It is all utterly meaningless without knowing God, without knowing our Creator, without having eternity in perspective. And so outside of eternity, anything outside of eternity and the things of God will be completely empty and meaningless. If we live our lives just pursuing the things of this world, pursuing fame, wealth, accomplishing things through our work, all these things, all of that will be completely empty, and we'll be left with a meaningless life if we do not pursue the things of eternity and the things of heaven. So I think just what we can draw from that is a challenge to keep our minds and our hearts on the things of eternity, to recognize the inherent desire that we have to be fulfilled through relationship with God, to recognize that there's nothing in this world that we can obtain or pursue that will make us feel fulfilled or complete. The only thing that can do that is knowing God, knowing our Creator. So let's learn from the lesson of Solomon, a man who lived his entire life and who obtained things and achieved wealth and fame and popularity, achieved the things of this world. Let's not have to wait for an entire lifetime of pursuing the things of this world to find out that we wasted our time and that the only thing that matters is eternity. Let's, while we're young, recognize that the only thing that truly matters is knowing God and the things of eternity. And let's put our time right now into those things so that we can live a life full of purpose and full of meaning, so that we don't have to look back on our life and say, oh, everything we did was just utterly meaningless. Let's live lives that will last and have an impact on eternity. Let's live our lives to know God and to know the things of the kingdom. So I just want that to be a reminder for us this week. What are we setting our eyes on? What are we putting our energy and our hearts into this week? So that's all I have for you guys this week. Hopefully that can be kind of an encouragement. Hopefully it's not too depressing or too much of a downer. But I think it's an encouragement that there is a place that we can find meaning and fulfillment, and that is in knowing God. So let's put our time into knowing God this week. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you for our next video, and we'll see you this Saturday for small groups. Can't wait to see you guys there. Bye.